Back, everybody, to On Pit Row. Steve Ronkwitz and Charlie Turner with you live from the original Gino's Pizza and Grill. Very happy to have on our bench racing hotline the winner of the nationwide race on Saturday, which for some reason seems like it was forever ago.
Yeah.
James Buescher is on the line. Hi, James. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. How are y'all doing today?
Hey, we're doing terrific. What a great end to not only your race, but the truck race and, of course, the race early this morning. Talk to me about the finale of your race and the way you saw it play out over those last couple of laps.
The nationwide race, it wasn't looking good for us. We had a strong car. Everybody said it was fast all day long, even all weekend long. We won one of the practice sessions, and we would get runs up to the top three, and we had a strong car. And towards the end, for the green white checker, it didn't seem like I could find anybody to work with me. I was the odd man out in the group that was up there near the top 10, and lucky for me, coming to the checker flag 3 and 4, the leader went up to block the outside run that was coming, and they all piled into the wall, and I was able to maneuver my car to the bottom and sneak through the wreck and make it to the finish line.
How long did it, as you're watching this unfold, how long did you sit there and go, these guys are going to wreck, this is my strategy if this happens? I mean, did you have some idea what was going to go on, or was it just more of a reactive sort of thing?
Well, I mean, you can always expect a wreck at Daytona in the closing laps of the race. The green white checkers the night before in the truck race seemed like we had a wreck on every one of them, and we did. And I think it was 3 or 4 times that we crashed in the last 10 what would have been the last 10 laps of the truck race, and we got caught up in the white flag wreck and that on that deal. So you always think that there could be a wreck coming to the checkered flag at Daytona, and you're always ready and alert for it. But when it happens, I mean, you can't predict the future exactly how it's going to happen. So that's when it becomes instinctive and where to put your race car on the racetrack to make it through the wreck.
We're talking with James Buescher, and how does this win at Daytona change the rest of your season? Does it change the rest of the season after winning the biggest race of the year, the first race of the year?
I would say it takes away some pressure. It in some ways it adds pressure because, I mean, you won a race and now everybody expects you to win again. But at the same time, it takes away pressure because you've been trying to win in NASCAR for so long, and you finally have that little sense of relief there that you're able to get to victory lane and build your confidence in the future. Build the confidence of both my teams, the nationwide team and the truck team. Lets all the guys know that, hey, we're capable of winning these races, and makes them want to work harder to get back to victory lane.
James, I know you said earlier that you had problems finding anybody to work with you towards the end of that race, and I've heard you mention that in a couple of other interviews since winning that Nationwide Series race. Will this victory make that an easier task? I mean, how much of this is worked out before the race, and how much of it just comes down to who's around you, when you get there?
Well, when it comes down to the end of the race, it's who's around you. You're on the green white checker, you're not going to drop back 5 spots and go pick up your teammate and hope that you get a run big enough to go get back what you gave up and then some. I started out the race working with my teammate Justin Allgaier, and we made a couple runs to the front and worked together really well. His car was able to push mine a lot better than mine was able to push his. And then towards the middle part of the race, and even close to the end, we worked a lot with Joe Nemechek and made plenty of runs up to the front and well into the top 5. And, the end of the race came along and we just weren't around each other. So, I pushed and got pushed by a lot of other drivers throughout the weekend too, or throughout the day. And it just seemed like everybody that I had worked with so far in the race just wasn't around me. And the guys that I was around had teammates or friends around them that they had been working with all day, and put me the odd man out. And that's the way the cards were dealt. We had to deal with it. And I was just doing everything I could to hang on to a top 10 finish, using the draft off of all those other guys, and we did pretty good maintaining not having a drafting partner. But definitely would have been nice to have somebody to push with me. But at the same time, it could have been a bad thing in that if we were up there challenging for the lead into turn 3, we could have been involved in the wreck coming out of turn 4. So everything happens for a reason, and our bad luck of not having a drafting partner turned into good luck of winning the race.
How stable are those cars and the truck? I guess there's obviously a difference between the two. The new Nationwide car, you guys have had a chance to run that thing for a good year now. You're hitting the second beginning at Daytona with that car. Is it as stable as the old car? Is it more stable? What's your feeling on that car at this point now that you've gotten a lot of time to use that thing?
Well, I'd say they're really stable. Comparative to a truck, at Daytona, they're a lot more stable than a truck is there, especially when you're doing the 2-car tandem drafting and pushing each other's bumpers. You can be pushing somebody or be getting pushed, and you can be getting pushed by somebody and feel like you're just driving by yourself, like nobody's even on your bumper. So, they're a lot of race, and I think that they're more stable than the old style cars at places like Daytona for sure. There's some racetracks that they might be a little bit more unstable, but for the most part, I'd say that they're more controllable. Now that everybody's figured out how to go about setting them up and everything, the evolution of them's gotten them to be more stable than the old style car, I would think.
Well, they said last night on the broadcast of the Cup race after the Juan Pablo Montoya incident that some of those guys think that they've seen just about everything that you could possibly see at a racetrack. Have you ever seen anything quite so crazy as this whole weekend? I guess with the rain and the fire and the locusts, I think that Charlie and I talked about. The locusts had to be someplace. Maybe they were sitting out at the airport waiting to attack today if they had to come.
I don't know. It was a wild Daytona 500 speed weeks for sure. There were some crazy crashes in the truck race. You saw some pretty hard hits in the duels, and there were some big crashes in the Nationwide race too. The way the racing was, it was like a combination between pack racing and some things where it kind of makes it a lot more uncertain, and not being able to communicate with other drivers when you are doing the tandem drafting makes it a lot harder as well. So that might have contributed to some of it, but I'm not complaining about it at all. We led a lot of laps Friday night in the truck race and had a really strong showing for all 3 of our tournament trucks. Qualified the top 3. It was 1, 2, 3 for Turner Motorsports on truck qualifying, and then won the Nationwide race. So I'm not complaining about the way everything happened, but yesterday whenever the 42 car hit that jet dryer, it was the craziest thing I've ever seen go on in a race. So I'm just glad that everybody was okay with that big explosion, and that the safety truck driver got out of there safely, and they were able to continue the race.
Well, James, thanks so much for spending time with us. Congratulations on your victory on Saturday night in the preliminary race, as Fox kept calling it on Sunday. I don't know, they must not have bought the Nationwide advertising package or whatever, but congratulations on that win. It was great to see you come to the front, and we appreciate you spending time with us.
All right, it's not a problem, and hopefully we can go get another one out in Phoenix this weekend.
All right, best of luck to you.
Good luck, James.
Thank you.
James Buescher.
What a crazy ending